So welcome to our third webinar in the series. We began with talking about what's important from a tracking standpoint and how do you pick the right KPIs. And then last time we had a really great discussion with people who do this job of managing products, managing ideas. Where do you come from? How do you choose? It was a really great discussion. So those two webinars are out on Sopheon.com. So if you want to go check them out, we encourage you to do so. But today, now we're going to talk about, well, how do you prioritize? So if you're a product manager, how do you prioritize? How do you balance value and effort? So my name is Paul Heller. I'm the chief evangelist of Sopheon, and it's my pleasure to be your host today. I spend time working with companies to help them get more value out of their investments in innovation. I write about it. I speak about it. That's why I'm called the chief evangelist. And I also have a weekly podcast called Innovation Talks, where I bring in, I'm fortunate to have some great guests, leaders, practitioners, consultants, authors. And there's a QR code in that upper right that if you scan that, that'll take you over to the podcast recordings we've been archiving on Sopheon.com. It is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Greg Coticchia. Greg is the CEO of Sopheon, and he's going to talk in a moment about what Sopheon is for those of you who may not know. But he has a tremendous amount of experience in tech products and services. He's been CEO, president, COO, chief bottle washer, you name it. He's uh, he's brought more than 100 products and solutions to market. But what's really cool and relevant is he's also the founding executive director of Carnegie Mellon University's master program in product management. So he created the first product management course, certifiable course in the world. So Greg, welcome, and I turn it over to you.
Wow. Thank you, Paul, and welcome to everybody taking time out today that's live and in person. If you're watching this recorded, welcome as well. Thank you for that generous introduction. I only wish my parents had been here, Paul. My father would have been proud. My mother would have believed it, right?
So we'll send him a copy.
I am going to do a little shameless self-promotion of Sopheon. Thank you very much. But we will very quickly get to the core of today, which is all about prioritization and how much fun it is to select between features and backlogs and all kinds of other things like that. So, Sopheon is dedicated to innovation management. And the reason why is most innovation fails. New product development fails, whether it's incremental new features to an existing product or you're trying to invent a whole new category. It is estimated that this slide talks about how 85% of growth stalls are avoidable. Well, there's some other stats that are really interesting too. There's about 2.5 trillion with a T that's spent on research and development a year. Half of it, 50%, 1.5 trillion is considered wasted, a little bit more than that. What's really interesting is a survey by McKinsey of executives about innovation and new product development and product management is that only 6% think it's successful. 94% are dissatisfied with their efforts. And we all know the stats, whether it's 40% or 80% or 90% about new product failure. So there is inherently a demand. We must invest for growth, yet we all know that there's a lot of risk involved. So this is what Sopheon's all about. We accelerate and lower that risk for product innovation at scale. Now, just like cybersecurity can't eliminate every phishing email you're going to get or every potential hack is going to come into your system, there is no guarantee for mitigating 100% of risk. The best you can do is improvements. And that's exactly the value proposition that Sopheon delivers. We deliver better time to market, more successful product initiatives, savings in terms of your process, and an increased portfolio value. And I just sat on a product coffee earlier this morning with a gentleman by the name of John Mansour. Some of the attendees here may know his name, where he talked a little bit about managing at the portfolio level, such an important part of our lives. Anyways, we're known by the company we keep. We provide innovation solutions, innovation software and services to some of the world's greatest name brands and some that are synonymous with innovation, companies like 3M or Honeywell. And you can see that we serve both digital product companies as well as physical product companies. And of course, every company today, as software is eating the world, is both. And so we're helping companies like LG and Verizon and Land O'Lakes and others. We're helping them increase their and reduce the risk and increase the outcomes, the better outcomes for their next generation of products. We call that, by the way, operationalizing innovation, or as the market has called it, innovation ops. So really important terminology if you're not familiar with it. Last shameless self-promotion on Sopheon is that we do this through a set of products. We have our flagship product, Accolade, which was our first product to marketplace, and it is the backbone of innovation management at many of the companies I just showed you, helping companies achieve their strategy to execution performance. For those of you who are online today that are individual or team leaders in product management, I encourage you to take a look at a couple products here that we offer a free trial, a freemium version, and even a modest paid for, fully functional version, and that is Acclaim Ideas for managing all the ideas. We're going to talk about these. How do you collect ideas? Where do they come from? How do you test them? All those other things. And of course, there isn't a product manager alive that isn't asked the question at least once a day, how's that product doing that you manage? And to answer that, we've created this product called Acclaim Products that helps you have a dashboard and know at your fingertips at any time where you are and what you need to do in terms of your product. And it's not just an issue tracking tool like Jira. We'll talk about our favorite product, Jira, in a minute here. And along with that, managing projects as a part of innovation is also important. And we introduced about a year and a half ago, Acclaim Projects as a part of that. So this is the product set that we deliver, all backed by strong consulting and services. Okay, let's get to our subject today. You ready, Paul? We're going to dig
I'm
in.
ready. Let's go.
Prioritize this, product manager. Okay, so prioritization, who needs it? I'm going to tell you we all do. And the reason that we all do is, well, let's start off. I mentioned my favorite product, Jira. If for the product manager on the line here today, how many of you spend your time each day grooming the backlog? That's the job you've been relegated to, is grooming the backlog in Jira for your product developers. That's not the job you aspired to when you said, I want to be a product manager. Yet deciding those features, the ideas that come in, and we're going to talk about where all those ideas come from. That's become a big part of the job as you're trying to match your strategy and execution and where your prioritization goes to. Now, I'm old enough because I've been around doing product management. I'm the OGPM. I remember actually when dinosaurs roamed the earth, keeping feature lists on pencil and paper. We called them affectionately wish lists. We actually even used to get them in. We did open innovation crowdsourcing. We did them through these things called fax machines. They would come across from our clients and they would say, here's a product enhancement request form that we have for you. But regardless of the job, at some point, all kidding aside, at some point as a product manager, we have got to decide what goes in the roadmap, what features are going to go in, why they're going to go in, what are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to achieve something for our prospect, for our customer, for our architecture, for our CEO, whoever? And the worst part of those is knowing the status of where they are, where they sit, the incoming changes that happen inevitably as life goes on. I was listening to Bob Mesta the other day, and he said, who on their product roadmap in November of last year had planned for ChatGPT? And the answer is no one. So, things happen, right? Things happen. I even worked at one company where the VP of sales would meet with product management every Monday so that he could reorient the feature list, right? So, and what we were working on, right? These things happen, right? Let's talk a little bit about some facts, though. I got some